U.S. the American government, man. And not just American, but Edomites. That's the issue. It's like when the so-called white people, when they start to, because that's their actual kings and princes, because that's their nation. That's their kingdom. And now they're mad because why? They're not liking the direction their country's going.
All these are the beginning of sorrows.
Mm-hmm. All these are the beginning of sorrows. I think in the NLT it says labor pain, some pregnancy. So you already know what time it is. Remember, this is just going to get worse by the day. Not just the war, but everything leading up to and the war intensifying and intensifying and intensifying. It's not going to stop. It may cool off. It may seem cool. You might not hear much about it because they're not really reporting on a lot of shit that's happening. They're saying this, they talk about, they lost 6 people. After they said they said that Iran decimated all the U.S. bases in the Middle East. They really don't have no they really don't have no base in the Middle East, and they have to go into the UK. And you can't just build another base in the midst of the fighting. And it seemed like Iran is also like, yo, we could do this all day. And they said, here's a screenshot. So with that, well, Yahweh Shah said, so this is from the Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. It says the IRGC responds to Trump's ground invasion proposal and begs him, and it begs in all caps, begs him to send troops. We have been waiting for such a day for years and years. We are 100% ready. Come from our ammunition crates. We have made coffins. We will bury you in this very soil. That's all about to American military. They just say they're gonna send some U.S. Marines, right? Everybody can put them in coverage on that because that's war. And we in the midst of the war. It started. You don't go back and they talk about it's so bad to where they got U.S. militaries over there. They're sabotaging shit somewhere so they don't want to fight. Put something in the toilets. There was something else that happened.
It says Iranian military officials Roman legion have been slain on our soil. American Marines may come, but we are the ones who decides how they will leave.
And you know how that means? That means you're gonna leave in a body bag. And say you got coffins. Now, granted, Iranians are dying too. That's the price of war. But at the end of the day, America being the big bad Babylon the Great, they understand the Redfield. They know what it is. They said, what he said? He said, no, we're waiting for them. We're waiting. Send the troops, bring the guns. And they say they ready. And that's exactly how we talk about wars and rumors of wars. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That's Elam against Esau. Ishmael in the mix too, I think. Because I know Saudi Arabia's in the mix with the because wasn't there a base there too? So we in World War III. You want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say something. I don't know if y'all know. Allegedly, they saying that whatever. I know they said they confirmed his brother being dead. Now they saying that they got bullshit with him, acting like he's speaking and he's holding whatever, but he's not exactly.
Yeah.
This is what Iran.
They saying, I think they hit my somewhere we staying, like where he was alleged to be. But you know, at the end of the day, if he is or not, the show gonna go on. The prophecy gonna go on. He's just a man, an old crusty Edomite man. He's still a puppet himself. It's the elite that we waiting to get for Yahweh Shah to get. We waiting for that. The CBers, the central banking families. That's what Lord got sauce for. These Trumps and all, they just figureheads, man. They don't really run the show. And they at least don't really run the show because our God, our power really runs the show. Right?
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
Hey man, they got all these tea events happening. One was in Houston,
Michigan,
and the other
Virginia.
one, what was the one that was the synagogue, right? Happened in Virginia again?
That was at the.
Okay. That the property of Allah do?
Nah, that was
okay. Yeah, so like
that was awesome.
Awesome. So yeah, Texas. So like you got all this stuff happening. This all grounds for them to like, all right, start gathering people up that's on some like hate speech. I'm saying you speaking against us? You're this, you're that. Oh no, yo, they toss him in jail. And we're only preaching out the very Bible that y'all just said. You said, then P. Heckler out of his own mouth say that Trump was anointed to bring on the war of Armageddon, to bring the Messiah.
Psalms 144.
Yeah, the hands of war. Yep. Well, but I was the president of peace. If you in his administration, that means y'all on the same page. And Pete Hegseth was the guy that called all them generals last year for that meeting to be like, yo, all that woke shit, all that T shit, all that shit, yo, prepare for war. And what do the scriptures say? Prepare for war, ye Gentiles. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. So that proclamation's been going out. The Lord had his prophets been tell you was about to go to war with Iran, with Russia, with China. Let's go. Yahweh Shah said it. Y'all all gonna go to war, and then he gonna come and smash you. After you smash each other, that's what's coming to pass. But so that's what that dude said. So I got this article. So that's what I'm saying. So this war stuff going, what has to be coming next? What brothers be looking out for? The MOTB. So I got this article, and a brother from another state sent me something saying that there was stuff going on with another state too. But this is from Washington State. This is from Fortune magazine or Fortune whatever. It says Washington State wants to keep employers from micro-CHIPing workers before anyone gets the idea. Now, I call that controlled opposition because when you read the article, they're not opposed to people getting a micro-CHIP. They're just opposed to it being mandated. But we know through the prophecy it's going to be mandated. It has to be mandated because it's prophecy. And when the Lord said the Lord said he happening, it's going to happen. So this is from March 10th. It says it may not be a problem just yet, but this Washington State lawmaker is making sure your boss can't make you get a micro-CHIP unless, of course, you want to. You see that? You see that? Unless, of course, you want to. So if you want to get it, they're not opposed. But they just say, oh, we're not going to force you. But they said the same thing about the V. So the V was like, oh, yeah, if you feel sick, you want to get that, you go get it. But it's not mandatory. What happened a couple weeks later? Hey, you gotta wear a mask and you gotta get this V. Oh, you can't come up in here unless you vaccinated.
That's how they make it to where it's not technically forced. You don't have it. Like, look what you got. They just want to make it extremely hard for you to live. That's why it says that should not worship the beast, shall be killed. That word killed means to be separate.
Right.
So they separate you from society, and that's why a lot of people end up getting the jab. Nobody like physically forced them to, but through their actions, the things that they took away, people felt like they had no other choice.
Yeah. It was like they called it. I need a job, right? So this is a lawmaker talking about your employer, so that's your job. So it also says, after reading about how Wisconsin became the first state in the country to pass a similar law in 2006. Now, what also happened in Wisconsin? What else happened in Wisconsin? 2017, I believe that's Wisconsin, where that one company had people get micro-CHIP for, like, I don't want to say experiment, but it was like, yo, if you want to, like, we have this thing going on, it's going to help open doors, literally open doors, and money, and like your records and shit. Basically, bring it in cutely, and people got it. That was 2017, but they said this law was passed in 2006, and it says, Washington, I guess it's Republican, Breonna Thomas introduced a bill last month to prevent any future employer from requiring its workers to get CHIPs for the job. Now, it makes it seem like, oh, she's so against it. But are they really against it? And aren't they not told to say these things? Aren't they not controlled by the higher up puppeteers? It says, I actually read an article about the Arkansas bill and the idea of bodily autonomy being something that we're in constant in law kind of stuck with me, Thomas told Fortune. We see in a bunch of different avenues like gender affirming care, reproductive justice, but technology just is the next new battlefield for losing charge of what goes on inside of you. What goes on inside. So what they trying to put inside you? Trying to put his mark. They're trying to put his they're trying to put his that mark in you. It says losing charge was inside of you. It says now 2 days after the bill passed, Thomas' bill would make Washington a 14th state in a country to implement a similar ban. Now that means in 14 states, the issue of having a right to see it is out there. It's out there. It's not propaganda. It's out here. People already have to see it. That's what people say. There's already people that have to see it, that use it to buy and sell. But we wait and say he calls it all, so where you can't do nothing unless you have this. And that's what's getting close. And that's why the Lord got this war started. Because it ain't gonna be much longer after they implement that. They're already in high gear with this war shit. They talk about possibly 500 some, 600 some American military already dead. 4 military bases in the Middle East. No more bases in the Middle East. At least not on document. Allies coming against each other. This is all the stuff the Lord says is gonna be happening. This ain't gonna get better for America. This ain't gonna get better for America. It's gonna get worse and worse and worse. Now they talk Shalom. And now they talk about I think what company was it? It was job layoffs. I forget what company. What was it? Yeah, Meta. It was Zuckerberg. Meta. Oh, and something involved in the technology, like something with technology and shit. So what's up? Is it sinking in yet? All right. And now it says the bills. I was waiting for a signature. It says, I understand the underlying policy might sound a little bit like science fiction, but we've all learned in this chamber that science moves fast. She said the bill's preamble underscores the philosophy stating employers should compete for talent through wages, benefits, and working conditions, not through invasive monitoring technology. If signed into law, Washington would ban employers from requiring workers to be implanted with the subcutaneous track and see it. The bill, HB 2303, targets any device implanted beneath the skin that contains identification numbers or personal information retrievable by external scanners, and simply any medical device for diagnosis monitoring. And you see where this is going. We're saying we don't oppose you getting to see it, but you're saying they're basically saying that the jobs can't mandate it to, but they definitely can, and they will. We at the time where the chip got to be coming soon. How is it not coming soon when these niggas dead about to nuke each other? You think we just gonna be here another 20 years and what Iran and America's bombing each other? No. Soon enough they're gonna get them big to it, and more people are gonna be unalived in the military. The Isaiah the 34th chapter, slaughter amongst the armies. What? You think we're just gonna be here and it's, what, living life in America like everything is peachy? When people are losing their jobs left and right? Come on, man. Look at what's really going on. Shit is not good. You got Edomites that's furious about what's going on. When you see the Edomites, this is their kingdom. If the regular Edomite man and woman is unhappy, what's going to happen for the children? What's going to happen for what does the future look like? It's bad. It's dark.
Got a quick point. You mentioned why they ban something that's not in place yet. And it's like, if they came out and put a legislation that says they're banning cows from flying, people look at them like that's retarded. Cows don't fly, right? So why would you put out a legislation like that? And they won't. They only put out things that are like don't commit murder, ticket for running a red light. They put that in place because those are things that can happen and that do happen. So them doing that is already it's just a different angle at priming or introducing to the minds of the public.
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
Okay, come. It says the legislation comes with clear precedent why preemption matters. In 2017, which I remember when that came out, Wisconsin-based tech company 3 Square Market became one of the first U.S. employers to offer right-sized microchip implants to employees and allowing workers to open doors, log into computers, and use the office vending machine, buy and sell, which could store, all on a voluntary basis. Oh, just like the mask was voluntary at one point, but then the next week later, what? Oh, now you got to wear this mask to get in the store. That's how they do. That's that conniving shit. That's that like, yo, you say it's voluntary, but then we going to make a man's for anyway. So you want to get in the store, right? Or you want to go in the building, right? You want to go over here? You want to go to school? You want to go back to Rutgers? Want to go back to college? You got to get the beat. You want to eat? All that. In the machine, you want some chips? Hey, you want some chips? Want some chips? Get chips for your chips. It says that same year, which is 2017, Swedish firm Biohacks had already installed approximately 4,000 similar CHIPs, which could store contact information and electronic tickets. No American company currently requires microchipping, but Thomas argued that waiting for one to try is precisely the wrong approach. Oh, so what? You see that right there? That's that. Like, oh, we're waiting for it, but you already know they about to do it. Clearly, then you gotta watch how these niggas talk. I remember that one of the face brothers watch battle rap. That nigga Maroon, you watch what niggas be saying. Watch the words niggas be using. The shit niggas be saying, you gotta really listen to that shit. Listen to the verbiage. We're talking about something implanted in your skin, a little right-sized grain to buy and sell. What else spoke about that except for the Bible? Nothing else. Nothing else said. And nobody can say this happened in history. This happened in the past. They did this before. No. When John saw that, it was a little before now. Back then, up until now, nobody did it. And before that, nobody did it. Nobody had nothing you plant in your skin. They didn't have the technology advancements back then, and nobody did it. Because if John was in the Roman Empire, boom, boom, boom. And that's it. And this is what she's, and she says, it said that this is thoroughly a preemptive strike, but we are a very tech savvy and tech forward community. So I figured if it showed up anywhere, it was likely to be right here at home, said Thomas, who has background in labor standards and previously worked for the city of Seattle. To be clear, the bill does not ban all microchipping outright. Employers who voluntarily choose to implant on their own may still do so. So it's still out there already. They do the hook, but it's like, yo, you know what I mean? You ain't got to, but if you voluntarily want to do it, you don't have a choice to do it. Soon enough, you're not going to be able to buy and sell with it. That's what the scripture said.
That's why it's called an hour of temptation, because you go into the word tempting. When you see a chick, that guy got a fat ass. It's not, and she may have a man. It's not as if you gotta hit it. Nobody's forcing you to hit it. But if she out there with a fat ass and shit showing, or you walk in the skirt, every time she moves, her shit just goes up. It's tempting you. You look, you tempted to. What they call tempted to touch? That's what that's what the thing is. So what happened? Exactly. So that's why it's called the hour of temptation, because as the brother was going into, you're not going to be physically forced to do it, but the way that they're setting up society is going to be where you're going to be tempted, because you won't be able to buy or sell, right? Commercializing, which everybody's into. The whole society is just all based off of buying and selling. You can't do nothing in this world, especially in Babylon, if you're not buying. There's nothing. You can't grow your own food. Even if you try to grow, you got to go buy the seed. So everything is and the thing about the whole situation with how to usher that in is easy as a Black Swan event. They've already did the simulations on the banks going down. They've already set it in motion to where they're saying Iran could potentially target a U.S. banks and a cyber attack. So if they collapse the system and then they bring it back to where you gotta be digitally ID'd in order to be able to be integrated into the system, then what are people going to do? They're going to definitely do it, because here in America, people they don't have the mindset of being resilient in the sense of getting it, hand and scratch their tooth and nail type shit. People are used to having things given to them, conveniently given to them. And then they also are used to just following what the government says. Now, of course, we're seeing that we're living in a society where a lot of people are going against the government, right? And it is a lot of backlash with that. But if you get to a point where people are desperate, they're going to easily do that, because as it says in Isaiah 47, they dwell carelessly. So they have a false sense of security. So you take that security away from them, right? Like a thief, you take away them being able to dwell carelessly, right? Quickly. You're going to have them in a state of confusion, a state of shock, state of panic. And when people panic, they end up doing really the wrong thing.
Right.
Especially when you're seeing celebrities promote it, You're seeing the government. Why you think there was such a whole I remember when the CV came out, that's the only thing that was on the news. It was always just take this, take that. You had Obama came through, took it. Biden came through, he took it. You had celebrities talk about it. Yeah, it set up actual in New York City. They were setting up little speeches, podiums where they definitely had a nigga woman out there. Never forget that. I don't care what's in it. I don't care what it is. I'm just gonna put out my arm and I'm gonna take it. You should too. They would put it in the churches. Everywhere you go, they had it at the CVS. They was giving it out for free. They had a nigga with a Happy Meal. I think that. You want some? You take it with the weed? They was giving out weed. Yeah, they was doing everything, man. And that was all a psyop, man. It was the free donuts. Yep, that was all a psyop. So how much imagine more than like now in order to you get groceries, they go. I'm walking to the store. I got my. Everybody else will be outside hungry. All you gotta do is just the size of a grain of rice. Rice for a rice.
Right side, yeah. And when you think about it, when you think about the Edomites and these so-called white people and their disdain for what's going on, they're not talking about America being destroyed. They're not talking about the actual money is the issue of money is always going to be something that's an issue, but they're not saying they want to not be a part of the system. They just want the system to be tweaked back to where it benefits them. What's happening right now is not benefiting the American citizens through the American government actions. So now what's happening is Americans know they're in a full-fledged war with Iran, and they know that's not really a good look. Because, what's my man's name, McGregor? He said, America is not equipped to fight Iran. And he said, they do send people there, and when they do send people there, that's when it's going to be a real bloodbath. That's why the Iranian dude, that Persian said, no, we're waiting for them. When niggas say the way he said it, he answered it quickly. When somebody answered quickly with a little smirk, that means they got something they got something in their sleeve. They ain't gonna hear unprepared. They said the thing said, hold on, what did he say? He said, from the IRGC responds to Trump's ground invasion proposal and begs him, and it begs in all caps, him to send troops. We have been waiting for such a day for years and years. We are 100% ready. Come from our ammunition crates. We have made coffins. We will bury you in this very soil. Talk about the American troops that they're gonna send there. Why do you think these Americans talk about all these American veterans and all that stuff? We shouldn't go to war with Iran. We shouldn't go to war with Iran. But you're in the war with Iran. And Iran says no more negotiation. We in the thick of it. We in this to the long haul. And that's your Howard just tweaking the nations. It's about to be my day. It's about to be my day where I can go there. They fighting. Oh, they right there? Oh, they're fighting. You read that real quick? Actually, no, because I was talking about the MOTB and all it's leading up to. So, you got reason?
No, I said breaking news. I don't know if you know. It said that Trump has projected attempts by Middle Eastern allies to start diplomatic talks to end the war with Iran.
Oh yeah, because Russia, they said that Putin said that
bring the
uranium to Russia, and Trump said no. But then the Iranians also saying that they're not trying to stop either. so nobody trying to stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. World War III is begun. It's now on. When we got the notification 2 weeks ago, and they said that they actually attacked them, look what's been going on ever since. Gas went up. Don't get it twisted. When they said they were going to close the Strait of Hormuz, I think they did it the next day or two. So it's been closed ever since. And they said we're not opening this, except for those countries we mentioned earlier, until it was the same day. Yeah. And they said that people that was trying to get through, they was busting caps in their ass. And they said that I think Trump had said that we're gonna escort you through the Strait of Hormuz like the U.S. Navy is. They haven't done it yet. And Iran said, go ahead, escort them. Go ahead, take that trip, take that chance. And now they're going through the Panama Canal.
You also think about how America and other European countries already released strategic oil. That's all. It's already been 14 days, and you already had to release oil. And I think they said it depleted it to. I think they said it was at 57%, and it got depleted when they released it to 41%. So that was 16% of it was already gone within 14 days.
About a day, 14 days. To European countries, yeah.
No, America.
Oh, America
had to release it. So that goes to show you now that's only 14 days. And then remember, Trump said in the beginning of the war, it will be, they think, in 46 weeks. A couple days ago, he just said 46 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
so what happened to those 2 weeks that just passed by?
Like you said the same thing, but
Yeah, 4 weeks went by already.
Keep moving the goalpost.
They just gonna keep saying
Yeah.
46
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? The war. This is not the war of end all be all, but this is a spot where we at in the story. Because this is what the Lord said: the Valley of Jehoshaphat, gathering the nations, assemble yourselves. The whole thing with China, them 2,000 fish boats, and that's why it's very key. Why this article came out about the MOTB, because it's all intertwined together. The scripture said He calls them all. There's going to be something that happened to where now we can bring up the MOTB. But I think one of the elders said is like, even though Esau's doing this, he still eventually, the Lord is going to keep throwing monkey wrenches in his plans. So like when you see something that Esau really got rid, something might happen like on maybe some weather shit, or maybe like just some shit that he didn't really control. You feel in charge? You're gonna eventually not feel in charge at all. I'm talking from the central banking families on down, and that's when they go into their bunkers. You want to say something, bro?
You mentioned the weather in Kansas. They had they said it was softball sized hail came down and fucked them up, tearing up cars, destroying property, destroying roofs. So that's like one of them plagues, man, and that's gonna keep happening.
And it's right on time for the MOTB to start being talked about more, because they said Washington State is the 14th state. So I mean, this issue is what percentage of the country is that? I mean, yeah, what percentage of the country is that? That's a nice percentage. How much longer till it's like everywhere? You know what? We need to implement it to every state. Have some kind of what we talk about the false tags. Little something here, little something there, little something there, little shooting there, little shooting there. Keep happening, keep it. Oh, see, we're gonna get on top of this now. How are we gonna track people? How we gonna do this? How we gonna do that? Yo, put a SIP in them. That's the ultimate play. Make it so twisted in America to where like, yo, this is the only way. And that's our cause. Oh, this is the cause. He caused it. Like the brother said, it's not gonna be just forcing you get to see it, but you're not. It's gonna be, oh well, you're not gonna be able to buy it. If not be able to buy and sell, you can't do shit.
Hey, serpent, so Eve won't surely die. So that's what Esau going to do.
Yeah.
He's going to say, this will actually give you life. That's the deceiving nature of this devil. He's always been able to coerce. It says in 1 Corinthians, through the simplicity, Eve was beguiled. You know, through the deception, Eve was beguiled because of basically her being simple. But the serpent does that. He twists, he makes life death and makes death life. So he presents a whole scenario. We always talk about it, the order out of chaos. He presents a chaotic, scene, and then says, I have an order. I have a way that's going to make it all better. Because even when they talked about it years ago, I think it was 2022, when they went to Davos, WEF, that year, the theme was basically embedded intermediaries, where the Internet of Things and the IoTs and all that, they were speaking about that, how the system that they were basically transitioning to was going from wearables to implantables. Mm-hmm. And that just went over everybody's head. But it was and all of the banks, the CEO of the banks was there, the masters of these various industries was all there. And Klaus Schwab said, hey, we are the stakeholders of the world. The people in this arena, whatever, we could control how the future is going to look. Right. And what are they talking? They're talking about implantable devices.
Yep. So check this out. So she say, so to be clear, said the bill does not ban all microchip outright. Employees who voluntarily choose an implant on their own may still do so. Just how the employees in Wisconsin were able to volunteer to get CHIP despite the law in effect banning any workplace from requiring it. So people still got it. Even though it wasn't required, but people still got it because why? They got that convenience. They got the sales pitch of convenience. You want to lose your ID thing to get access to the building, make life simpler. All right, and it says
it's going to be like an insurance, like a job's insurance. You don't have to get your insurance at your job, but then you get penalized for not having insurance.
Yep. So it said Thomas drew a deliberate line between personal choice and an employer-driven use. She says, I get the practicality of moving through work and making it more efficient, opening doors, using copiers, vending machines. She said, I just wanted to protect what happens inside people's bodies as it pertains to their workplace. Now, if you're interested in turning yourself into 6 of 9, go for it. But that should be something you do on your own time. She said, making a playful reference to the Star Trek Cyborg character 7 of 9. I remember the D69 Star Trek. So all that shit. So it says she also flagged surveillance concerns that stretch far beyond the office. I had concerns about what that sort of access to information could mean as you move through your daily life, where you grocery shop, where you go to church, how long you're at your best friend's house on a Friday night. None of that should be information that your employer has access to. But what did old boy just say? Ellison? Yeah, we'll be able to look. People will be more on their best behavior when they know they're being watched. So they're going to do it. They have this prophecy. Prophecy must come to pass. And they're going to implement it to where, like, yo, if you don't get this, you won't be able to move in this society, no matter how shitty it is. It's still a part of the movie. It's still part of the story. The Lord said, I declared the end from the beginning. They already saw this. John saw this. He calls it all. Everybody's going to get it, just like everybody to get the V. It's the same play, but this play is going to be whether you live or die, because that was a test. You could have got the V, but you can still receive salvation, but no brother in the truth got that shit. Should have got it zero. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. So as this goes on, more the technology comes about, the war is going to get worse. The war is going to get worse and worse and worse. American soil is going to get worse. More sedition among men, more uproars of the people, more earthquakes, more prophecy coming to pass. In fact, somebody get that joint, sedition among men, because the whole thing with the white so-called white-blooded Americans fight about the government, that's not a good look for a kingdom. If it's sedition among men, they say that's the that word is like it's uproars and like disdain towards the government. Like they're unhappy. See, if you really have knowledge of the Lord and the truth, you should be happy. The Lord said, rejoice when you see these things. Know that the kingdom is nigh. It is nigh. Why did the Lord put the double emphasis on this nigh? It is nigh. It's there that ye believed. But I got it. Better, brother?
Yeah. Second Ezra 15-16. For there shall be sedition amongst men and invading one another.
Mm-hmm.
They shall not regard their kings nor princes.
And that's what's happening now, man. And it's beautiful. It's actually beautiful to see, because like, yo, we're actually seeing it. Get the notification, see this, and you see that, and then you see what Iran bombing the hell out of Israel and the American bases. And they say, yo, we're not going to stop until they stop. But they want the oil from Iran, and Iran saying you can't get this oil. And we're gonna, and our nuclear program is non-negotiable. They said that months ago. And now they say no, it's no more negotiation. You attacked us twice. And they said if you attack us this time, we will not hold back nothing. And it clearly they hold them tight on that word. And in the meanwhile, you have the civil unrest. The scriptures say, and when it talks about when the Lord said what saints how divided, in the NLT it says a kingdom divided by civil war. Civil war is taking place in America, and you have Esau against Esau, Egyptian against Egyptian. But go ahead, bro.
And the course of their action shall stand in their power.
And it's going to get crazy. You're going to start seeing like what happened with Nancy Pelosi's husband. How old boy clocked him over the head with a hammer. I don't know why he was in his drawers. Yeah, hammerhead.
That shit was all set up.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, just for the optics. You're going to start seeing more stuff, and it's going to seem less and less set up, because why? People are actually getting furious. That's why why you think they talk about these billionaires and these motherfuckers talk about going into bunkers more? More bunker talk.
Hey, all of the, I think Trump administration, they all moved them to military bases.
They moved from their cribs. That was months ago.
Yeah.
That was months ago. I don't know, Pete Hex was one of them, and there's a couple other people. And let's talk about old boy from the Secretary of Treasury, how Trump told him, yo, come here real quick, dog. And he went back, he looked all rattled and shit. He was blinking and shit. He was like he's in good spirits. Trump, he's in good spirits,
I totally trust my teenager.
Yeah.
Like,
Word. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Huh? Like, what are you talking about? You look stupid. You look stupid, and the Lord is exposing Esau to a T, man. He said I should make Esau desolate and bare. You've been exposed. Now everybody knows the shitbag you are, man. And you can't unreveal it. Once you see the cat, once you see the kitty, if you saw it, I seen him, huh? I can't unsee it unless you got that shit from Men in Black. But
yeah, I was just saying, God even showing that information. It was because they're getting intel they get intel that a lot of American troops, there's a lot of casualties, but the military don't want to dispose of that information because they know Americans gonna get pissed. All right, they were asking them, Hex said that the other guy, I forget his name, but they were asking him like, "Oh, can you let us know about the casualties that's going on over there?" And Hex said, got quiet, and he looked over to the other guy, and the other guy was like, I said, "Oh shit, that's a red flag right there," because they don't know what the hell's going on, and even if they do, they don't want to show, they don't want to give that information to the American people because no matter war, people don't support the war, and they're trying for you to support it, right? It's all propaganda left and right, and Congress still hasn't approved of this. So it's still up in the air as to why is America over there, what is going on, and the whole world, even Americans, are saying, "Yo, what's up with all this, man? It's affecting the economy." So you can tell people are getting pissed, man. Like Alisha was saying, that you're going to see more and more events that may seem staged, but they'll play off of that because people's real emotions are showing, man. All right, the sedition and all that is all showing. You hungry, and they tell you that you about to go on a draft to a war that you are against 100%. Like, what happened to the American people? What happened to for the people, by the people, and so on and so forth? What happened to that? It's all gone, man. We told you that it was all gone. Now you about to find out.
They had that guy who's his name? One of the senators when they did that, it was because they only been given backdoor briefs on the whole war, and every time they have it, the one guy comes out as a senator, or something. I forgot what his name. Something like a hall, something, yeah. But he said, like, based off of what the briefing was saying, that the only way for them to try to get any of these objectives that they're talking about is they have to put boots on the ground, and they're not getting that approved by Congress. So then, how are you going to get boots on the ground? Well, they're going to have to cause a reason to be able to get that to happen. And they said that really the only way they can do that is if Iran attacks America on soil. So then next week comes out, oh, they might have drones may hit California, and then you have all these different sleeper cells. They talk about sleeper, and then Trump saying that we know where the Iranian sleeper cells are. We're watching them. What? How does that make sense? You know where they're at, but you're not gonna do nothing about it. But what are they gonna do? They're gonna let it, so-called, let it happen, and then they're gonna blame Biden. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna blame Biden. That was a fall guy.
And we said that. We said that while it was happening. That they said that's what Biden was doing was laying out the red carpet for Trump with all his actions because you were literally fighting the Texas the governor about keeping your borders open while there were reports about the FBI talking about red lights or whatever everywhere about red flags about T's and they caught somebody who said he was from Hezbollah coming to New York to make a bomb.
Oh yeah,
you still out here talking about keep.
He had an interview.
So we told you these things because
I think that was the guy that said, "You're gonna hear my name very soon" or something like that.
Oh yeah. Remember that. And there were loads of them coming into the country. So like the phone says, they setting it up and they're throwing it out there about the drones and this because most people in their minds they weren't thinking. They thought the only way Iran could hit the U.S. was through their interest in the East, or if they had a missile that was far enough. But they knew that Iran doesn't. So it was far out of their minds to expect Iran to do something on here. But now they're putting it into your minds that no, they can. And then they threw the whole drone thing out, and people are like, well, how are they going to be able to control drones from that far away? And then comes they don't have to be far away. In fact, they might be your next door neighbor. They might be your bus driver. They might be this, they might be that. And so what they're doing now, what I suspect they're doing with the little attacks here and there, they had the shooting where they said the guy was a part of the National Guard, he expressed interest in support with ISIS and so on, is they're letting you know that these are, yeah, you definitely did. Hell yeah. Just like that black ass dude who went and so forth, shot up that, probably Malani, yeah. So it's showing you that, hey, these people are real. They're here. This is what they look like. So don't be surprised if they come out in a coordinated, event and they start doing shit. And I've been saying that they know now, because whenever they do anything, everybody's on their case. Like, that's a false event, prepare for a false event. But eventually it's going to get to the point where they're like, all right, fine. You can know it's a false event, but it's still going to be so bad that the effects are going to be felt in a real sense. If they were to blow up cities you can know it's a false event. You're going to be affected by it, you know, and they still going to be able to achieve, you know, whatever goal it is that they want. You know,
This guy.
look, I mean, that's pretty much the times that we're living in now. And hey, that's and it's a beautiful thing. I was reading some headlines, and one was saying that France is sending 10 warships to that. You saw that? And Trump said that many nations are going to join in basically that coalition to go and open up the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the brother Ayash was mentioning how Russia was making a lot of money. They're making a lot of money off of this.
Yep.
Yeah, they got these sanctions lifted. You know what I'm saying? And you think they're going to sit back and say, oh, yes, go on ahead and send your troops over there and open up that strait. That's not Russia's going to sit back while you send allies up into that region. No, this is the gathering in of the nations. They're going to send the warships and get their ship blown up. Then they're going to send the troops, you know, and all different kinds of troops. They're going to put boots on the ground, which is the trap that they set for themselves.
And being bold at Joel 3 verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
That word plead means to judge. Okay, so when the Lord says to bring again, the bringing again doesn't mean I'm taking you into captivity again. It means I'm bringing you out of captivity. So this is letting us know that we're close to being taken out of captivity, because he says it's in those days that he's going to then gather the nations over there. They're literally, you know what's happening right now? The world is speaking prophecy in modern language. You know, that's exactly what they're doing. And I titled one of my other lessons about that, we're in the danger zone of prophecy. And that's exactly where we are right now. This thing ain't slowing down.
I was gonna say, yeah. The video that brother y'all shared about the new screen is right. Yo, the dude sounded like he was reading Joel, the 2nd chapter, and it blew my fucking mind. You know, like every sentence he said was just like another verse. Pull like 10% just for that. You know, and that's talks about how the truth will declared, and you have people at first wouldn't think much of the truth or would come up against it. Now they're the ones that are probably saying they say the same thing, you know. So now it's difficult for them to tell that's wise. At first they were still confident that they were the wise people, right? That the people who gave their life to the Lord were the foolish ones, when they could have, when they could have been in the world and received the lust of this world. They look at you like a fool, but you gave all that up. But now they ain't got the choice. You got to do the same thing that you do now. And step 8, you're gonna get no reward for it. It's gonna be no, but they're gonna work, but it's gonna be a report onto themselves, right? They say, yeah, you're right, but I didn't listen, so I gotta take the L. That's all it's gonna be. You know?
The scripture said that the end it shall speak. You know? And when you go into that word speak, I think it's like breathe. Basically come alive, because somebody's alive, they breathe. So the end is alive right now. It's active. Like God says Ezekiel, it watches. It's basically it's inviting you, because the end is inviting you, and you can't do nothing but except just go in. Yeah, the Grim Reaper. Remember they had that little shit with the Grim Reaper, where they had they made that little video where they was cutting all the jobs during the lockdown, the shutdown, and they had the project 2025 guy at the Grim Reaper, and they had I think they had Elon or they had JD Vance, and they had Trump, and they had the people lined up as zombies at the unemployment line, and then they had the Grim Reaper because he said that he was basically cutting all of the Democrats' jobs and shit. So you basically showing what time it is in this place, man.
And then they got the whole Department of Homeland Security shut down right now, which they've hinted at that already. Trump mentioned that. He said, like, right now it's dangerous, but you know, the Democrats, they got it shut down. And I forgot who said it, but they said the Department of Homeland Security is specifically for this job.
Right.
and you got them shut down at a time like this.
I actually have an article I was reading earlier today. It says from USA Today, are U.S. flights safe? Feds say yes, but signs of danger are growing. A partial government shutdown, a war in Iran, warnings about sleeper cells, and in the middle of it all, Americans left to wonder if their travel plans are safe. Those concerns were echoed in part by former Department of Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson, who told CNBC the nation is operating in a quote heightened security threat environment because of the fact that Iran is a state sponsor for terrorism.
That opens the door for them to come up with the excuse that something happened, another 9/11 happened. But we didn't have the resources, the personnel. Look what Trump did. It's just a blame game. It's just a new blame game. Again, they're putting the whole political frame in there, making sure it's Democratic and Republican, because that's what is part of that Egyptian versus Egyptian prophecy. They have to put that in there. So the crisis that's going around, you have no one to blame but the opposing political party. And that's the class that they need. People focus on themselves to beat each other up while we implement this new system once the chaos is taken over with that new order that's coming.
What is that? Albert Pike's letter?
Yeah,
They be
yeah.
exhausted, right? That's what they're doing. Because even when you read on comments like on social media and when they post about what Trump's doing, you read the comments, you see, and y'all voted for this. Y'all voted for this. You said what?
It's a double. You all upset.
Oh yeah, that was bad. He had about someone pissed. He ain't talking about the Anunnaki.
He's saying that too about Canada and America.
Oh yeah. Yep. Well, you see it. That's all it is. Now, y'all, they're blaming each other. And then when some shit happens on the left, oh, it's the Republicans blaming them. So it keeps going back and forth. So that's why, like a brother just said, if something happens, as far as like the TSA or airports, remember you had the one shit on the plane happen a couple weeks ago, where they had everybody on the plane, and then they had it at the airport in Kansas City. So that was so much stuff has happened. That seemed like it was months ago.
Right, yeah.
That was like last week. Like, who are they going to blame? They're going to blame the Republican, because y'all shut it down. And we need the TSA workers, and they're not getting paid. They said Friday was their first week they had no paycheck.
Damn, working no pay.
Working with no pay. How long do you think that's going to continue? Because a lot of TSA workers are who? Jake. There's always Jake. Jake don't want to work regardless. Now you're not going to get paid. That's what they basically doing. They just forcing Jake back into slavery.
Yeah.
It says, meanwhile, TSA officers charged with screening airline passengers for security threats are working without pay, another potential worry for air travel security. Johnson didn't say travelers actually are at a higher risk, but he is among experts raising a number of concerns, including lone actors inspired by terrorist organizations. Though the potential targets are not limited to air travel, and some experts say the risk of aviation remains low, Johnson said threats could come at a time when TSA is under a tremendous amount of stress. Roughly 50,000 TSA workers are working without regular pay after Congress failed to pass funding for DHS, which oversees TSA, sparking the partial shutdown in mid-February.
Doesn't that also affect right? The DHS going down,
Yeah.
but consumers under DHS.
Emergency management.
Yeah. So,
They're going to start taking care of themselves.
so what?
People have said that the states going to start taking care of themselves and pay for that disaster. That was last year they said that.
And Trump is taking federal funding away from certain states because of immigration shit. So when the floor said we're gonna have Egyptian against Egyptian, city against city, you're gonna have interstate wars because you got a Republican state can be right next to a Democratic state. You're like, wait, now why they still getting funded, but we not?
Yeah, meanwhile, you got this nigga, Duddy in the freaking, I forgot what, yeah, but there was what group or whatever. That shit
Oh, they was in the office.
in the office,
They was
right?
doing the prayer. Oh man, I'm looking at that shit like, yo, he's like, so, you see, no, the red-blooded Americans, but this and that.
Hell yeah.
You got Muslims over here bombing, and you got him in the office doing the prayer. They got a little bug out there. They're like, I'm like, and they recorded this shit too.
That shit.
They're gonna shit like you said. They're gonna shit on New York. They're gonna say, "Oh, y'all are already giving over to the Muslims." how are we gonna give y'all any funding? And they dropping 1.5 billion a day, probably more than that, on bombs. So how you gonna fund the government and you spending more on war?
He said he's gonna have to get the money.
Right.
He said they're gonna have to start taking it. They're gonna have to tax more to get the money that we have. Investments.
New York, there's a lot of Republicans in New York. They said that New York and New Jersey almost got flipped during the past election. So you got, even within certain states, are different types of political beliefs. You go down certain parts of Jersey, you would think you're in a red state.
Yep.
Certain parts of New York, you would think you're in a red
Yep.
state. So
Island is like
so when you get to a position where you got the whole political division and all that, and it's within your actual city, your actual state, that's why it says, "Call me Egyptian against Egyptian. Friends shall fight one another like enemies." Your little, hey, John, hey, how the Giants looking? It ain't gonna be that at that point, man.
I had a friend yesterday. I was on the phone with him. His coworker was asking him about the sports that's going on. I think it's the World Baseball Classic. Yeah. So he was asking. He's like, "Yo, you Dominican? Yo, the team doing good. How you feeling, man?" He's like, "Yo, Brian, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. There's so much going on in the world, bro. I got so much personal shit. I'm not even worried about sports right now, bro. I don't know why you even asking me that shit." He was getting mad. I'm like, "Yo, bro, is that your coworker? Like, yeah, right?" He's like, "Yo, bro, there's mad shit going on. Why the fuck is this nigga out here asking me about sports, my nigga? Like, niggas is broke, bro. You worried about gas right now? What the fuck is this nigga talking?" He was getting. I was like, "Relax, you still at work, my nigga. You can talk when you done, bro. You know." But the frustration is already there. And I'm like, "Yo, bro, it's just March, bro. You still got the rest of the year to go. You better pace yourself. Shit, if you're already stressed out and losing resources, you need to pace it. And hair, you need to pace yourself. All right, because whatever hair you got left is going to be gray by the end of the year with all the stress that you about to go through, man. Financial, physical, right? Your jobs is getting cut. I saw some article today. They said within 1 month, was it 500,000 so-called black men lost their jobs? 500,000. So you go from 10 million to 9.5 million people. 500,000 just lost their jobs within less than a month. Just like that.
I seen another shit that said AI is affecting white women the most. White liberal women. So everybody's feeling this shit, man.
That's why it says he calls it all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Why? Because if you're rich, they gotta cause you to come down to the level where everyone is going to be at the same level playing field, man. Plan the curve.
It says roughly. It said roughly 50,000 TSA officers are working without regular pay after Congress fell. We're so seated. It says TSA officers missed their first full paycheck March 13th after receiving partial checks in February 28th. These are the people we depend upon to look for bombs and explosive devices on the planes you're about to get on with your family, Johnson said. They live paycheck to paycheck when they're getting paid. Morale traditionally in TSA is low. You see it all the time. You go to, big back. You see a woman there, bag check 17, damn it, take your damn man. Why you yelling right now? Right? Shoes off. Laptop off.
Are you the enemy?
Yeah, like I'm paying for you. I'm funding your life. Go back, no, go back. Like, yeah. What are you think you about to get? You about to go to go through your final boss. The final boss.
The Lord said, Yeshua, watch fat and kick.
Definitely kicking. So the morale is low already, and then now you're not getting paid. You don't want to go through that, man. You see it like on like TikTok or whatever. People be arguing at arguing at the shit. How much more now? They said that because of the whole TSA shit, there was delays at through the TSA line up to 3 hours. People was missing their flights because the plane not gonna leave. I mean, not gonna wait for you. You gotta get 3 hours. Your flight could be only like 2 hours, but you gotta wait 3 hours just to get to the plane.
But you know what? You have a problem reaction because you saw multiple things with this. You create a division where people are like, "Yo, fuck this." you also break down morale when people are going to quit. Hey, this is not early 1900s where people just going to come together, let's protest, let's go on a strike, and then businesses get shook, and then all of a sudden, okay, let's have to no, they're going to shift right to AI and automation. Listen, as soon as you people say, okay, we're done, we're leaving, no more TSA, they're going to replace the TSA with new TSA. It's just going to be digital this time. Right, it's a point. There you go. So they just need the reason to be justified and bring it.
Christy Noel came out with that during the first shutdown when they had the whole TSA shit, because we had problems during the first shutdown where they actually had to cancel flights. But then after that, they said that they were bringing in a newer system that was going to make everything faster, and they were going to implement it. Brothers probably look at the article in like all of the major airports, the big the hubs, and I think they said JFK was one of them, Newark was one of them, LaGuardia, Atlanta, Texas. So they're going to already push this out. When Trump said that a new state of the art technology that we're going to put in for TSA.
They had it covered.
Yeah, at Newark they got it covered in the back. So they already have these things. Other countries, right? Islands, they already have that. Where you will see like 2 or 3 TSA people in the whole entire airport. Everything is digital. So that's going to go right with the whole digital, going back to the chip. You don't need a TSA person when you're going to get scanned. You're going to go through the whole shit. They're going to be able to scan you. They're going to have your information and all that. They're going to have the smart AI look at you, ask you some questions. They'll read your blood pressure, see if you're lying or not. Yep. The department. This is now we're forcing them all to go to work without being paid. The Department of Homeland Security heard questions in the White House where an official speaking on background said the entire administration is closely monitoring all intelligence and remain vigilant to defer potential threats if they arise. Well, Trump just said when he was asked, should American people be worried? He said, I guess. Yeah. I guess. I mean, we expect some things to happen. I said some people may die. I guess. What?
Low. Extra low if you're talking like that. That's why the men of Babylon are foreborn to fight. This your commander in chief, and he's shaky like that on what he's saying.
And the craziest thing is, most people still walk around too. They still walk around with acting as if there's not no penny danger ahead. That goes to show you just how in gross darkness, they say gross darkness covers the people, man. The only thing that's gonna be able to wake you up, it has to be a rude awakening. Your whole shit got to get shaked up, man. I said, our Iranian army, our air defenses managed to shoot down an American MQ-9 drone in the skies over the capital Tehran. Well, I thought you said that they got rid of all your air defense. Right. That's what America said. That Iran, we control the skies.
But y'all don't want to report nothing.
Yeah. But that goes to show you, they're gonna eventually. You're not gonna be able to get free news from these other sites. That's why they got Larry Ellison buying up all of these different platforms and American news sites, because you're not gonna be able to get Al Jazeera. You're not gonna get. You can't download Russia Today on the iPhone. Yeah. I seen that shit. I was like, wait, I can't click on this shit. And I'm like, yo, they took it out of Apple Store. Yeah. You can still get it on the Google app. I mean, Google Play app. What's it called? Play Store. Play Store, yeah. You get it on Samsung, but you can't get it on Apple. Yeah.
That's right.
But that's what I always mention. That's what Netanyahu said. We gotta fight the informational. And that's going to tie into the truth being taken off of being accessible as well. That's a part of the prophecy as well, man.
Yeah, they show you that because in Israel they are what's like 5-year sentence if you report any of the damage that's happening in there. So they're already letting you know that in this time of war, they need to control the narrative, and they don't want information coming out. So don't be surprised if they do that. If they start having those like internet blockages, and shutdowns in certain areas. If something starts going on in here, and the U.S. wants to paint a
a global narrative as to what's happening here, of course they're gonna start blocking what individuals in the country from actually displaying things out the country. Because when shit starts, accessible. Yeah, they're gonna block it because when things start going on in a specific area, a lot of people want to hear from people that are in that area, like what's going on. That's these independent journalist stations. They want to hear from people in there. They're gonna start, cropping and cutting all that out.
It's not nothing new because I think it was during World War I or World War II. I forgot which war it was. But with the Rothschilds, they basically had insider information about winning the war. And they basically started selling all of their shit. And it made everybody else thinking that the British was losing. So when they started selling all of their stocks, everybody else started selling it. But it was really because the Rothschilds had insider information. They already had the control over the narrative. Well, not control, but they had foresight over what was going on. Yeah, yep. So they had yep. So they had everybody sell, and then they started buying up all the stocks cheap. But then when they actually came out in the news that they was actually winning, they owned all the stocks, and everybody didn't have it. So that's how they got control over the market like that. So that's what they're gonna do here, man. They're gonna control the information that you're gonna have. That's why he said this is a war front for the information.
There's a TV show called Containment. And in there, they do that where it's like an outbreak, and they quarantined off that section of the city where it was like that, and then they cut off the internet, the signal, and the power in that specific region. So if a certain city gets hit, don't be surprised if it goes dark. Yeah. Now it's like, yo, I can't. My family members in this state, but I ain't heard from them in three days, and there's nobody can hear from anybody going in and out. And then they lock it down with checkpoints saying that we got to make sure that everything is secure over here. It's all side effects of privacy.
And that's why, for the truth, that's why they can't have, because we're news casters as well. And we're telling you what is happening, what is going to happen.
Yeah.
So they don't want us to do that because when you look at what's going on, it's going based off of what we've been saying, which is ultimately what the Lord's been saying. So as things continue, as different nations start to get drawn more and more, we've already been saying that, and what that leads to, they can't have that narrative be put out there, because that narrative that we're saying is going to be ultimately for America to be destroyed. It's going to be happening, but they're saying it's going to be for America to win. So they can't have us be saying, well, not that's because people are going to be listening and seeing that what they're actually saying isn't taking place. So they're like, no, we just got to get those people off, and the people just listen to us. Because it's very interesting now they're talking about this war that you're fighting is going to bring in Armageddon. Right? Netanyahu just said, "Oh, what we're doing, we're going to see the Messiah, but he's not coming on Thursday." Right. But then the question is, if you're talking about the Messiah, but y'all don't believe in who they believe in, Jesus, Americans, so who y'all bringing in? What's about to happen on Thursday? Right. Right. So the bigger question, what's about to happen on Thursday?
They call it Christian Zionism.
Yeah. But that's why they had the whole shit with the Turning Point USA and all that shit, man. It's a whole big side right in front of your face. But they can't have what we're saying be put out there as well, because that goes against their narrative.
Yeah,
we speak.
I would say, with that whole thing with the Armageddon, it's kind of true what he's saying. But what did the Lord say? Woe to thee that is not a day of the Lord. What is it to you?
Yeah, Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So, yeah, as you were saying, as it stands right now, the word has gone out. It's on the internet right now. Y'all out there at the household of faith, you can access it, learn this truth. And if they cut it off right now, you should have been able to learn enough to get to that crown of life and to get that gift of faith. But if you wait until they cut it off and then you trying to seek it out, it's going to be too late. You see? So there's going to be many people, as it says, they're going to run to and fro seeking out the word of the Lord, because they're already clinching down and putting a bottleneck on any information about what's going on. And like you said, they're trying to muddy the waters by speaking about Armageddon. that was very fishy how everybody start talking about Armageddon. This Moabite start popping up talking about the scriptures and end time breakdown. I'm like, who is this nigga? Yeah, he was getting down because he been watching us.
He's real.
And he's a real dude. But the thing is, who has he been watching? He definitely been watching us.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And you can see by how he speaks. Oh yeah, but then he's still using that name Jesus and still throwing you off the trail. And he's not talking about who are the Edomites. He's not talking about who are the real Israelites.
Oh, but Tucker Carlson talking about Amalek.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson go harder than him because he's talking about, he was like Amalek, but then he was who are the real Israelites? And that's the thing is like the only one that's mentioning Amalek is Amalek. The small hat. Amalek. Tucker Carlson is fucked up because he went to the apostles.
Like, yo, it's the Amalek's fault.
They keep blaming it on Amalek. It's like, bro, Amalek is you, nigga. You are Amalek, but you trying to point the finger at everybody else. But you fit the prophecies of the Lord having war against Amalek to all generations. And I had one more real quick. This is Psalms 140:1. There's a Psalm of David. Deliver me, O Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war.
Hey, since you actually said that post that I read earlier, right, where it said that the Trump's Middle East allies were basically begging him that, yo, let's have some talks to end this war, and he rejected it. So who do you think those Middle East allies are? The ones getting bombed on his behalf. So eventually, what do you think they're gonna feel?
But he also asked the European countries, say even asked China, to bring warships in there to open up the Strait of Hormuz. So, and then the Iranian president said, "Why are you asking the people to bring warships? Why are you not trying to find a way to end the war?"
Right, exactly. That's that continually.
Mm-hmm. That's what Ishmael gets, man, because you've been fucking around with Esau. You've been allied to Esau from ancient time, because Ishmael and Esau were both rejected from the covenant. You know, so they kind of had that kind of connection as enemies against Israel. And now you've been allied to this devil. Everybody that's allied to Esau is being exposed and confounded and being made a fool out of. If you're against Esau, you winning right now. Even though the Iranians getting their ass kicked, they're like, fuck it. You know, because Russia's backing them. And Trump is such an asshole and a demon. That's why it says there's no more wisdom in teaming. And this man, people say, oh, he's playing 5D chess. So the 5D chess is him putting more power into his enemy's hand, Russia. That's part of his 5D chess, shooting himself in the kneecap. Yeah, he can't even play 1D chess, all right? That nigga finished. But he's setting it up to where he's giving them more. Now he had to take the sanctions off, which is the ally to his enemy, Iran. Yeah. So I'm going to take the sanctions off my enemy, which is supplying information. So they'll have more ability to supply more information to my enemy. But that's 5D chess. That's stupidity. That's why the Lord has made Esau bare. And when you look at what's going on, it's clear that there's no more wisdom in teaming. There's no more wisdom with this man. And they think, well, that's a part of their plan. But don't you realize that your plan is fucking stupid at this point? But this is the pride. That's what pride will get you, man.
And then gave a speech and said, "Now I have become death, the destroyer of worlds." That's a madman.
Yep.
That's a madman. So when they come up with tactics like that to self-destruct, that's literally what the scripture says in 2 Thessalonians, the son of perdition, meaning a son of destruction. Everything he does was the Planet of the Apes, harbinger of death.
Shun him.
Exactly.
Drive him out. Player.
Yep.
Don't let him, he'll make
multiply.
a desert out of your home and his.
Exactly. That's the mad theory. You should destroy destruction. That's a madman
Right.
theory. You can't reason with people like this.
Let them not reproduce in large numbers.
That's why after 1,000 years they're gonna be exterminated, because even after 1,000 years of getting beat down,
That's
they
what
still
Isaiah
gonna be
14.
rebellious. Yeah.
Space doesn't cover
Fill up
the
the
city.
Exactly.
Order.
So that's what the Lord said he's going to do to these people, man. So all this shit that's going on is all prophesied. And at the end of it, America gets destroyed. Israel gets destroyed. And these Edomites become subjected. Then the world becomes at peace, man. These other nations going to be in subjection, but they're not going to get it as bad as Esau and Edom. And because of all the things that's going on, ain't nobody gonna bring them to justice. The Lord is the one who's gonna bring them. And when that day comes, shit.
And that's why the scripture says this honor have all of his saints. To bind their kings with chains. You know, because they still, nobody still went to jail for this Epstein shit.
Right, right.
They just stepping down from their multi-million-dollar jobs, but they already got the multi-million. You know, it's not like y'all poor now. Probably a lot of them probably just going into the underground cities and bunkers right now. That's what they're doing.
Right. You're hiding everything. Guess what? These last days, once he's going to expose you, you're being exposed. There ain't no hiding, bro. That's why you're doing all the things you're doing. There is no more hiding. The people are wicked. They know what's going on. People know what's going on. Propaganda's not working. Now you got to do it.
That's their MO,
Yeah.
right? By consent or conquest. Nothing doesn't work. Right, that's what came, right? The Lord made vagabond. I'm pointing to that word. Last video I did, vagabond. It said basically for somebody to get sympathy or to feel sorry for, and that's exactly what Amalek uses, right? He puts out a narrative that he's a victim, but it's really because you're a fugitive. That's why I said in the next verse that whoever would find him was going to slay him. So he puts out this narrative like, yo, the hollow, cost that was hollow, that all of their museums, the whole anti-S thing, is you're being a fugitive was really a curse, but you try to make it until now you try to use it for your own advantage. So you gotta feel sorry for me. But you're really out here just being a demon. Everything you do, you just destroying everything, but you gotta feel sorry for me because of what happened. No, you're a murderer. I'm not gonna feel sorry for you. But that's how the scripture tells you that he would not be able to hide himself. I got that. Jeremiah 49, verse 10. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So right there, you're not able to hide yourself anymore. And that started with what? The truth coming out. Because nobody was talking about Amalek before. Nobody was speaking about Edom. You had that one pastor or whatever that got Rich Fitwell, because I know the elder Yashawamba did video, and then he came across our algorithm. And that guy, remember you hit me up?
Oh
that guy. But he did a whole fucking lesson on the Rothschilds. Actually, that word going into meaning the shield of Edom. But it's an Edomite doing this. But then he did another post, now speaking about the so-called BHI, the Black Hebrew Israelites. But why is everybody so intrigued now about who are the ethnic Israelites? Because that's what Tucker Carlson said to Mike Huckabee. Like, why can't we do DNA tests to find out if that's it? The whole concern of the world now is about who are actually the children of God. That's when we read in Joel, the Lord said, for the controversy of Zion. That's why this whole thing is happening.
Right.
Throughout the whole entire earth, it's all about the controversy of Zion.
Right.
In
Romans, it says that the preacher is looking for the manifestation of the sons of God.
Yep. The whole world groaning, waiting for that, man. Because the whole world is going to war because of those people over there. And they're going to war because they said, what did Mike Huckabee said? Well, if they wanted to take it all, the first deeds is the Bible. So if they want to take the whole region from the Nile to the Euphrates, it belongs to them. And that's exactly what he's doing. That's why they said they about to do a ground invasion to southern Lebanon. They bombed him, but they said they about to do a ground invasion. Because that's the only way you can actually take a land over. You got to go in there. That's why they did with the Gaza. They're gonna try to do that to parts of Jordan, but the thing is, those other countries they're already like basically underneath a Babylon stump. Jordan, Kuwait, all of those. So they're looking at like, well, we can take them whenever because they don't got no actual army. All of their bases, their military really belongs to Babylon, and we control Babylon. So that's why Iran is attacking those bases, but they're trying to flip it to make it seem like they're attacking the countries. Iran said, no, we don't got no problems with y'all. It's the bases there, the American bases.
And they're now looking at Iran. Okay, the only way that we can really take control of this whole region, we got to get them niggas out the way. Because they're the ones that only got an actual military. Saudi Arabia don't got no smoke. That's why Iran said that. How many times they done send drones over there? Saudi Arabia still haven't done anything. Because they know, like, yo, we really can't go against Iran head on. But now they were expecting America to defend them, and what they doing that now? We gotta defend this. We gotta defend these, right? Y'all be good for your service. They took the THAAD's missile systems from South Korea. South Korea was like, wait, you got this thing, him over here just waiting right now. looking in the wind like, yo, I ain't gonna take these THAAD missiles. They actually in America just did a joint military drill with South Korea. North Korea, that nigga just dropped 10 ballistic missiles. And they said they just love 10 ballistic missiles while they doing that shit. He waiting, man.
I think with the whole Iranian thing, I don't mention it, but they took some stuff from South Korea defense.
That's what he said. But those THAAD missiles, those was basically what America put over into Israel when the Iron Domes basically stopped working last time. But this time, the missiles that Iran hit, they actually was striking those THAAD missiles. That's why they had to bring them from South Korea. But those South Korean, they have a pact with them. They basically saying like, yo, those really belong to South Korea, even though they're American made. But it was like they leased it, so it's like you have a car lease. So South Korea leased, America leased it to South Korea, but they're paying for it. So it's like you in the middle of your lease and you pay your lease every month, but then the bank just say, yo, I need that shit. I'm bringing that. Like, what do you mean? It's my car. Like, nah, I'm bringing that shit back. But you still gotta keep paying the rent though. Like, what? That's why this scripture says that they all gonna hate this whore, man. Everybody. Iran just said that Ukraine is official targets now, so they're getting dragged.
He shot 100 missiles into and 50 got through. And so John said 200 million. So these fucking devils always boast about the technology. You can defend against 100? That's crazy.
Yeah, they said about 50% of the small hats are leaving. They're either leaving, fleeing, or underground. You know, which I was underground in Brooklyn, so we know that y'all comfortable there.
I was gonna say because I don't know when it happened with the South Korea when they actually took them, but this is from March 13th, and this is about the thousands of Chinese boats massed at sea raising questions. So it was like it said thousands of Chinese fishing. This is from Yahoo News. So it says thousands of Chinese fishing boats have been massing in geometric formations in the East China Sea in coordinated actions that experts believe are part of Beijing's preparation for a potential regional crisis or conflict. But I think something about South Korea. I'm gonna get to that. It said,
Well, remember, the U.S. intelligence was saying that China was going to go into Taiwan to 2027, but everything got sped up. Lord said he's shortening the days, so China could be looking at it like, "Yo, we got to strike. We got to do this now."
Yep, and it says maritime and military experts told AFP the massing of Chinese fishing boats on December 25th. That was something that happened before. It said about 300 kilometers northeast of Tehran was on a scale they had never seen before. Another incident detected in early January involved around 1,000 Chinese fishing vessels clustered in an uneven rectangle about 400 kilometers long for more than a day in the same area of the East China Sea. Hundreds of those vessels were also detected in the December 25th event. Last week, around 1,200 boats massed in two power lines further east of the January and December events and held their position for 30 hours, Wayne said. So it says China's massive fishing fleet operates in the Yellow Sea, East China, and the South China Sea, competing with fishing from Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam, and the Philippines. It says, while there is debate why so many Chinese fishermen were gathered in geometric formations in open sea, experts widely believe that they were not there to fish. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, they know, and if China knows that they just gave them defense things to South Korea, that's one of the people they're beefing with. So they go up in Taiwan, South Korea. So y'all can talk a little bit, y'all defense.
That's how Rome also started to go down because they wanted to, they were fighting a multi-pronged war, And when they decided to go, that's what Iran was referencing when they said even the Roman Empire, the Roman legions couldn't take over Iran, which at the time they were the Parthian Empire. And when they tried to go all that far east, they got cooked and had to retreat back. I believe that was under Trajan's rule, where they got cooked, they sent his ass back. And that's how eventually the Germanic tribes from the west got him. And then they got messed up on the east with forced out of there by the Parthians. And then eventually they just started going down.
Go back to Joel. It says, verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people and given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your head. Oh, I'm gonna get that in the GNT. It says, what are you trying to do to me, Tyre and Sidon, in all of Palestina? Are you trying to pay me back for something? If you are, I will quickly pay you back. You have taken my silver and my gold and carried my riches into your temples. You have taken the people of Judah and Jerusalem far from their own countries and sold them to the Greeks. And it's actually interesting because I read that in a different translation. It actually sent me to Amos 1 and 3? Yeah, so like Amos 1 and 6. It says, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Gaza and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity and delivered them up to Edom. So I just found it interesting that it mentions Greeks here, and then it sends you to a precept that mentions Edom, because prophetically you had the Hamitic, some of the Hamitic tribes sold Israel to the Edomites.
Right. And the Lord said, what? He's going to recompense. He's going to pay them back. So that's why he's doing all this. Once again, going back to the controversy of Zion. The Lord, in Ezekiel 38, he says, when all is said and done, the Lord is going to do all this that he might be sanctified, right? That he might be glorified because of the power of this destruction. It's going to be so much that it's going to be, when nations declare force majeure, they say one of the reasons they label it as the hand of God, which is a disaster that's on such a high level that you're justified to say, look, this is why I can't produce on my end of the deal, right? Because of all that's going on. So this is just what we're seeing is the beginning of sorrow. All right, these are all part of the signs. The sorrows haven't hit in full effect yet, but your people already starting to see ahead. Yeah, if this continues on, yeah, you're gonna feel it more. You're gonna feel it more. And soon you're gonna start feeling it more. And they're gonna keep looking ahead and just seeing that, there is no end to the pain. It's only more exactly the pain scale is just growing and growing and growing and growing.
It's like a woman in travail.
Yep. And so she gonna keep on being in travail for the longest period of time, just feeling more and more painful contractions and birth pains. And the baby gonna bring his head out, sight, go back in there. You know what I'm saying? You've been pushing for 3 hours. This nigga playing fucking hide and seek with you while you on the labor bed.
Can't do C-section either. You have to wait till the baby comes.
You get to a certain point that you can't do a C-section.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It's past the-
it's past that point where they can do it. So you got to go through that. And then there's also a certain point where you can't take epidural. So you just gotta just go through the whole thing. And that's where we go. That's where we're coming to. They ain't gonna. The Lord said there will be no healing medicine for Babylon. So it ain't gonna be no way for you to try to ease the pain of what you're going through. There's no remedy. We'll get this 2 Ezra 16, verse what was it? 2 Ezra 16, verse 35. It says, you know what? I'm gonna start at 31. Sorry. It says, even so, in the days there shall be 3 or 4 left of them that searches the houses with the sword, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travail therethrough.
That's that scene of The Last of Us. You ever watch the show or like play the game where you go through certain areas and it's like what they call concrete jungle. You know, like that green stuff growing on that side.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, buildings and all that. Lines and shit.
And that's what's going to happen in certain cities. When the trucks stop going into certain areas, there's not going to be people going to have to migrate, because they're trying to find a water, water reservoir, food. So certain cities within states are going to just be empty. We got to leave that. Or if you get like certain parts, I know they got a data center in South Jersey, one of the data centers. Some shit happens where that shit get whatever. That whole area got to be evacuated. People got to leave. Or if the lights go out in a part of a state, you're like, yo, we can't stay here anymore. I heard that they still got lights, still got electricity up north. So we got to go up north.
Right, exactly.
But certain people like, no, we just gonna stay. We're gonna ride it out.
That was a Civil War movie. Remember, there was like pockets.
Oh yeah.
Like it was all good, and then they came into this area like, damn, y'all good over here.
Right.
But like even those areas end up getting fucked up too. But it's a gradual thing. Like the Lord will close you in, and then they think they're safe in one area, and then the Lord fuck that whole shit up, and they got to flee to somewhere else, and it's just you just be constantly on the run.
They don't see it to them as their security.
Right.
That's why when the guy came into the store, not to spoil it, but when he walked into the store, it was bad quiet. And you do realize there's a civil war, right? they're like, what? Civil war? What are you talking about? So that's how a lot of people gonna be. We're gonna be walking around like the scripture said, we're gonna be like pilgrims upon the face of the earth. The Lord's gonna be leading us to different places, like Zaquan said. People are gonna be going to different places in search of different things, different resources. Some people for medicinal. Some people are just for food. Some people for shelter. Some people to run away from the drones that's flying around everywhere, looking for nomads and looking for people who don't have the chip. It's going to be like that, man. It's going to be every single day is like, okay, can I make it throughout the day being alive? That's how bad it's about to be in America. And people are not going to expect that because it's never happened before. Scripture says a time like never before because America has never been in that kind of state before. Right. You go to different countries, they've been through that and worse. So it's not going to be a time like never before for them. Because guess what? They're not going to get certain remote areas not going to get hit with missiles. But America's about to go through a downward spiral that's never been before and then get hit with missiles. That's never happened before.
You even think about like in Gaza when they started bombing, they would tell them like, "Yo, y'all got to flee here.
Right.
Evacuate this area." They just did it in Lebanon.
Right.
This places that people lived for decades, generations. You got to leave this area. You got to migrate to go to Rafah.
Miles down.
It'd be like 50 miles. Like, what? Yeah. But then your gas right now is fucking going up, so it's not like you can just fill up the tank. Then if the banks banks get hit, then it's not gonna make me use credit cards.
Ain't no transaction.
How you gonna get up there? You gonna have to what they in the back of the day called fucking ball. You gonna have to walk.
Good luck.
Fucking ball. You gotta use fucking ball. Hey, you know Babylonians, they lazy, man. They don't want to do that shit. So you have people that's gonna stay, but it's gonna be, a couple. They're gonna be desiring to hear a voice.
Yep.
It says, in the virgins, verse 33, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine.
There's the answer right there. So how they gonna lose their men in the wars? Because the war ain't gonna be fought on American soil, at least not the World War.
Right.
So how they gonna die in the wars? Because their ass gonna be taken over there.
That's already taking it set up.
Exactly.
That's already something they're talking about.
Yep.
They gonna set up the draft in 18 to 39. 18 to 39.
Damn.
The average military age right now is less than 30 years old. So think about that. Think about just that alone. That the last 30 years has been a conditioning where right now most men don't want to go to fight the war. They don't want to be in the military. There used to be a time where niggas was proud to be standing for their country. Like it was a nationalistic thing.
After like 4 decades,
they'll still come back. But right now they recruiting niggas and niggas like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm not with all that. But remember this, if you were in the military 30 years ago, the chances of you still being there right now is slim to none. And anyone who's there right now in the past 30 years, what kind of mental condition have you been going under that's going to have you either you're joining or you're leaving? It's one or the other. You can't be fighting both sides like, okay, I pledge allegiance to America and all this extra shit, but now I'm deciding, I don't want to be a part of this no more. Like that Marine, that guy's arm broke.
Yeah.
He swore an oath. But what happened? It got to a point, an infliction moment where he was like, yo, nah, what's going on right now? I'm not I'm not upholding what I swore my oath to do. You're gonna have people like that right now who are in the military. When the time comes, they're gonna push them a little bit more to say, "Are you with us or not?" Because the operation we're about to go on is not about we're fighting for Israel. We're coming after the American people, the people you swore an oath to protect. Are you willing to come with us or not? If not, yeah, you discharge. You know, so what they call it, dishonorable discharge. Yeah, are you willing to suffer that? And then we can also imprison you because you're a veteran. You have skills. Shit, if you join the people against us, we got a problem. So this is that's all part of the Civil War. It's different wars on different fronts. Different wars on different fronts, man. And when the more the crisis, the easier it will be for people to snap. That's what they're looking for.
And they also would do well. The thing with Lindsey Graham, he had said that I got to go to South Carolina and ask them to send their daughters and sons and daughters to the military. But also to harp on what you were just saying, that when they have the military turn on the people, it's not going to be we're in Jersey's National Guard over here. It's going to be Texas National Guard over here. And if you in South Carolina, it's going to be Wyoming's National Guard. So it's going to be people. Yeah, they might do that as well. So they're going to have people that have no ties to this area, to these people. They already got the whole Democratic Republican, so they're sending a red Republican National Guard to a Democratic state.
What kind of American are you?
What kind of American? So you look like a Chinaman, because you're going to end up going into war with China, with Iran. So that's going to be an issue. If you look like a Chinaman, or you with them. You look like if you're an Arab, you with them. If you're a nigga, well, you just a nigga anyway. If you're a northern tribe, well, y'all niggas started this whole shit. You been have problems with y'all. So it's going to just be that's what I say, Egyptian versus Egyptian, man. And that's why Esau trying to use this whole rhetoric of bringing back the white nationalists. They're trying to gather up the white men to be together again. You had that chick, Erica Kirk. She just made some statement talking about the disenfranchisement of white male men. He was like, what is white male men? But Esau want to be oppressed so bad though. That's what they were saying in the comments. They were like, you trying to make white people be so, y'all want to be oppressed so bad in your own kingdom. But yeah, you go kingdom. You gonna feel what it is to be oppressed. But that's how Esau does though. Like that's what Amalek doing. That's the only thing that the regular Edomite man is just taking a book from Amalek. Victimize yourself. That's just your spirit. We are victims, but you're also the oppressor.
Victim villain.
Yep. What is that? 2 Ezra 16, verse 34, 35. It says, "Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slacked. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment."
So the pains tell you that the child is coming. It's like the pains we're seeing metaphorically, which is the suffering, the beginning of sorrows, tells you what sorrow is coming. You know? So we're seeing all this in word, and we're letting the people know, like, yeah, you're feeling these pains because the baby's coming. Well, baby, bitch, you can't have some stomach.
It says, this is the title of the article. It says, any country except the U.S. and Israel can pass the Strait of Hormuz, Iranian foreign minister said. So it says, Iran said Saturday that all countries besides the U.S. and Israel can pass the Strait of Hormuz in a desperate attempt at coalition busting less than a day after the U.S. bombed military targets on its critical Tark Island. As a matter of fact, the Strait of Hormuz is open. Iranian foreign Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said it is only closed to the tankers and ships that belong to our enemies, to those who are attacking us and their allies. Others are free to pass, Araghchi told MS Now. So I don't know, like any country.
Nah, that's
More than likely, because you know what they'll do? They'll mix in things here, and then 3 minutes later, Iran will come out and say, "Yeah, hold
We
on a
ain't say
second." Only,
That's what they're both.
yeah, because you know what they're doing is first they came out with straight lies, and then they kept getting their ass caught. Because Iran will come out and say we did not say that. So now they're coming out. All right, well, let's mix in a bit of truth and say, okay, the U.S. and Israel can't go through, but anybody. If that was the case, why would France be sending warships in there to try and open up the Strait of Hormuz?
And they already said that. That same guy said, like, yo, you're the Trump and administration, they're lying to manipulate the market.
Look at that.
That's he's saying, like, that's exactly what this is doing. They need to, because Trump does that purposely.
Yeah.
He'll say the whole shit about the war ending. When he said that, oil dropped.
Yep.
Remember, that shit went up like 35% in a couple hours. But then all of a sudden he said the war is coming to an end soon. And he knows that when he says that shit, that it's going to just drop. And that goes to show you how volatile the markets are right now, which is a horrible position to be in because investors have no clue what to do.
Right, exactly.
So at any word, they're just like, oh, shit, all right, let me go sell. I'm gonna go buy. That's not good. And that's you're dealing with other people's money. It's not like it's their own money. This is your 401k, your retirement plan that they're playing with, man. That shit is. It's all bad right now.
Yeah, I just thought about
What?
the South Park episode. You go and deposit your money into the bank, and as they deposit it, the nigga stops, looks at you, and it's gone. He's like, "What? It's gone."
Finish typing, bro.
He's like, "Next, please."
It's going to be 2 wars. It's a war that's going to take place here. Civil unrest going on. That's going to be the mass casualty of being killed off. I mean, you still got the 2/3 that still got to be wiped off. 2/3 of our people. You know what I mean? Those men, they gotta get eliminated, and then you're gonna have the nation. You know what I mean? Jake, and then you're gonna have some of these other nations will have to get wiped off too when they go on to this war. You know what I mean? That's why there's gonna be widow women and these baby moms is gonna be everywhere looking for men, and then that's gonna be the elect, the men of the Lord. That's gonna be left. Because we're going to be out in the wilderness. We're going to be out and about and trying to escape and trying to escape the danger and all that shit. You know what I mean? So it's going to get real out here.
You're gonna have food, famine, that shit going dash it at water. You're gonna have women gonna stink. It ain't gonna be something where it's gonna like, y'all got that woman. That's a bad stink right there. Ain't gonna be no hair salons. Ain't gonna be no getting your nails done. I was watching this TV show Paradise, and basically like an EMP attack happened, and everything what happened with the EMP, and they had a spot. It was like a year later, and then long story short, there was a sex scene, and in the sex scene, they started crying. The people they both started crying because they was like, they haven't touched somebody in a long time. But when the sex scene started to happen, bitch took off her shirt and like this hair. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that.
Hair, no hair.
I was like, I didn't even think about that. And I was like, are you serious? I'm like, yo, like to me, like that's not something I'm used to seeing. But like in that time, that shit gonna be normalized. Like, you just gonna have women just hairy. Like, oh.
And it's going to be worse. Why? Down to keep it down. If you shave, hair grows more and faster. So now you don't got nowhere to shave. And it's exactly. It's gonna be looking all hairy and shit, walking around, mustache and beard. You can't hide that. Yeah. Like, nah, you might be a CG. And then some of us,
my old friend.
Plenty of brothers. only one around.
I got a good brother for you. Man.
Find you. Where's Anna?
That's going to what they say, knock them off your scent. Nah, you're going to be knocking nobody off your scent. You're right here. Stay right here. And then you out. They didn't follow me. Because wherever we go, they're going to find us. You smell like shit. Sit your ass down. That's what breath stink. You know what I'm saying? Breath stink, hair, period, all over. And you don't have a man of the Lord to give you the guidance of the old ways. Because remember, the times that we're coming in when things become scarce, you got to learn how to go back to the ancient way of doing things. When Esau came in with this whole AMA bullshit, this new way of doing things, they literally made it illegal to live a normal herbal life, actual life, right? What's that? You can't. You can't. You're not going to allow. And it's because of that, you need, of course, even if you physically could do that, you need to get all these licenses and permission and all that dumb shit. Why? Because they wouldn't have control. You see, but now it's to the point where people are like, oh, I need a contractor to do this. I need a construction team to do this. I need this person to do that. So people are void of actual skills that will help you survive in real life. They don't understand the herbs. They don't understand the seasons. They don't understand nothing. Anything. But there's no GPS they can't drive. But there's GPS they can't drive. How much more no GPS, right? And then of course you have this terror always in your head every day on the news telling you how bad things are gonna happen and how unsafe it is, and you should watch out, but you'll watch over your neck. Oh, your next door neighbor might be plotting against you, and all this extra shit. People are going to lose it, man. They're going to lose it, and it's going to affect women the most. Imagine a woman, your son or your husband gets drafted, and then you in your house one day randomly, and somebody knock on your door, pop, 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 and they come in and they got a nice little folded little American flag with his freaking medallion on it, and then he's handing it over to you. What you gonna do? You're gonna cry, bitch. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna look at it and be like, oh, I can't believe this. You better believe it, because it's a reality. Okay?
They said that the daughters you're born having no helpers. Who are the helpers? Your salonist, the person that does the nails. Those are your maids. The maid servants. That's where you just pay them now. But that's your helpers. So you think about that with, as from a woman. It didn't say a man's going more and not having no helpers. A dude could not go. We would go. We did it when we during COVID. No shape. I mean, we don't get shape of thing, but no haircut, no shit. I was good. I was cool. Because a man isn't his value isn't in his looks. Right. That's not where his value is in. Well, a woman, her value is in her looks, and she needs help to look like that. Yep. That's why they go to all. That's why you got all of these stores that women, these salons, beauty salon, and all that. Your Sephora's and your Ultas. You ain't getting none of your products to make your face look plumpy and all that. That's done, man.
No toilet paper.
Please. Fake leaves.
The right leaves. You said when all hell breaks loose, like you watch those movies, you have men that look like actual men. Because a lot of men today, they shave off their beard and shit. When all hell breaks loose, that's when men actually look like Rick. Yeah, like Rick, exactly. From when he first started to like later on, like he became more of a man in his
People
element.
wanted to follow him.
Exactly. Women, it's not that way. You like, you wondering what you look like before the shit went down. You know what I'm saying? You look a little crazy right now.
Put your eyes in this angle.
It's gonna be tough, man. But hey, and that's why a man of the Lord is gonna be more precious than fine gold, because we're not gonna be at a loss. The Lord said we're gonna have an abundance. Imagine having more in Jacob's trouble than you did now. Before all hell breaks loose. Because like now we know, like we have the first and foremost stability of mind, because we know the Lord is with us. We know that He's protecting us, and we can protect ourselves and those that are with us, because the Lord is with us. So we're not going to be at a scarcity of anything. Remember, in the book of in the Torah, we were in the wilderness, the actual wilderness. There was nothing in the wilderness, but He gave us water from a rock. He gave us food from heaven. It says our clothes. He gave us light, which comes with heat.
Oh yeah, clothes in wax.
Our clothes in wax gold. We were good, like we were chilling. He brought us quail, so we were actually probably living better than certain people in certain other countries.
definitely in Egypt, they were having it much worse. You know, so in this time, we're going to be taken care of. Wherever we are, we're going to be good, and that's why. And then rejoice. So that's how much of a good position we're going to be in, to the point where, hey, that's a promise. Where people are going to want to, like, how is it that everybody else here looks like they're dying and you look perfectly fine? In fact, it's like there's a shine, a glow, an aura about you, and they're going to spot that from a mile away. It's sparkling in your eyes, like smelling fresh made food, you know, in a famine. The second that can opens, everybody's like looking like, oh, you know, I gotta find that thing, like the zombies in the Walking Dead.
Second Ezra 2, verse 24. Abide still, O my people, and take thy rest, for thy quietness still come. Nourish thy children, O thou good nurse, establish thy feet. As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish.
Not one.
For I will require them from among thy number. Be not weary, for the day of trouble, for when the day of trouble and heaviness come, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance.
The Lord already said it. So if anything, we're looking forward to the merry and abundance. Right. And we know it's going to be at a time when everybody else suffers. That's what makes it even better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool if we're all having it now, but at a time when everybody is worried about food and water and scarcity, we're going to have an abundance. Abundance, like Elijah and the widow woman. They had an abundance. With something that seems so little, it lasted them all through. They weren't worried about a famine or a drought. Meanwhile, you had on the other side women eating their babies, complaining to Ahab. You know, everybody stressed the hell out. He's getting fed with ravens. You know, drinking from the brook.
He had an angel came to give him some.
Yeah.
He said, eat some more.
Yeah, that's more.
I'm gonna eat some more. You gonna need that. You got 200 miles to walk.
And they held him. That's the crazy
That's
part.
the crazy part.
How you give 2 meals and you give him 40 days and 40 nights? Right. It's the book of John, chapter 16, verse 20. Got it?
That's good.
Oh, this is very That's now. John chapter 16, verse 20, it says, Verily, verily, meaning truly, truly, I say unto you, that ye shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice. That's happening now. It says, and ye shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. And that's the times that we're about to enter into. All right, we all made a deal with the Lord that say, Lord, look, man, if you know, shit is going the way it is, and we got to take the L right now, so that you could take care of us in the time of Jacob's trouble, then yes, we're going to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's what we ask the Lord for, right? I said, what? Anything you ask in my name, I will do it. That's what he said. So you just got to have enough faith to ask the Lord exactly what you want, and he's going to do it. You know, so we ask the Lord,
And he already knows what we need too. That's why the Yahushua said, he knows you have needed these things. He's the first in the kingdom of heaven, and all of it's right. So we're doing the part where the Lord said, you do this part, I'm going to take care of you in that part. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee in the hour of temptation. Yahushua tell you he's going to keep you. Just like how he told Peter, yeah, come. You should just have the faith. I'm going to get on. I'm going. We're about to walk on water. It's spiritual water, man. We're about to walk on water. And you got to believe that. That's the thing. Because if you don't believe it, then it ain't going to happen for you. It's not going. The Lord not going to give you a spiritual a blessing if you don't believe that he can. He said that he that comes to him must believe that he is. And he is the rewarder of them that diligently seek it. And you're going to see why being diligent and seeking the Lord was valuable. Right now, and that's the beautiful thing. When you read how the Lord on punishments, he always said, then you shall know that I am the Lord. When the Lord does the blessings, it's to show his power and to show how those that were merciful, that believed on him, how he can reward them as well. So right now, people don't believe in the power of the Lord. Right? As it says in Wisdom of Solomon, when men would not believe that thou art of a full power, thou showest thy strength, and give and make their boldness manifest. Right?
Yeah, that's why it says that shall that righteous man stand in great
boldness. Yep. You gotta be bold, and that's what faith is, being bold before you can see it. because you just know you believe in him, you believe in his name. And then he going to actually manifest the boldness.
Right.
It's far beyond what we it's gonna blow our mind.
Right.
That's why I said abundance. But we think about these things like, yo, I'm just hoping that I can have some food. Brothers are, I'm gonna have mad food. Like, I'm full. Got a rodizio 24/7.
But speaking of boldness, that's why that's why Moses told Joshua that the Lord told him, be strong and of good courage. That's what it means to be bold. You're bold in the Lord, not just bold as in having hubris, because that'll get you fucked up, right? But if you're bold in the Lord, nothing can stop you. That's literally faith on a different level, right? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. That's boldness, man. And when the Lord is with you, ain't nobody gonna be against you. Nobody can be against you because the Lord has everything subject unto him anyway, right? So if we have faith in the Lord, he said what? Because you have kept your faith and your patience, I will what? Keep you in the hour of temptation. I'm the one who's going to do that. Ain't nobody going to do it. I will do it. So if he said he's going to do it, we good.
And
All right, Lord.
keep goes into guard.
There you go.
Rescue.
There you go. He said, even if the Lord is not
Jeremiah 9 verse 23. Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might, let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorifieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord. So that's what you're supposed to be glorifying, right? The understanding and knowing the Lord, man. And that is what we have dedicated our lives to, really through the mercy of the Lord, that we are able to do this, man. And the time is going to come where we're speaking about all of this hell and carnage, the things that have never been on the earth. You're going to see the value of knowing the Lord, man, and knowing and understanding what He wants, because that's what your life was like. Ecclesiastes. What is the conclusion of the matter? And most people don't think about that, man. Every time I'm in a crowd or where I'm at, I'm on a train, I'm like, yo, there's nobody thinks about Yahweh. Ain't nobody thinking about him. And it's crazy because it's like when that time comes, even when the whole shit happened with the Austin shooting, there was a clip and you heard the shots game popped off and you hear somebody, Jesus, oh my God. That's what everybody says at every time. But you just praying, you saying a name that has no power in it, but you're calling upon what you think is a higher power. So how about that's just one incident? What is it going to be like when this is your days? Right. When every day is just like, yo, you just worried about your life being taken from you. Every moment you're going to be praying, but ain't nobody. And that's what the Lord said. Then you shall call upon me, but I shall not answer. You shall seek me, but you shall not find me. Because when I called, you refused. And that's balance. You can't say, Lord, why ain't you ever look for me? Like, I send my prophets out. It's all on the internet. You had the same people that you was laughing at. You had the Drewski, that funny nigga. Yo, them niggas is wild. Them niggas, stay away. They mad aggressive. Yeah, I just walk right past them. I put my head down. I don't say nothing. Yeah, but the Lord, like, yeah, you said it to the least of them. You saying it to me.
Right. It's only right.
It is.
You can't out here just always pushing them when you get the pushback. Oh, push it back, bro. Push it back. Like the Lord is gonna say, depart from me for I never knew you. To those who are gonna be coming in last minute, talk about Lord, hey, because he says it. Lord, have I not prophesied your name? Have we not done this and that? That's like you finally see the ultimate power, and you're like, oh shit, like I miscalculated this the whole time. Hold on, let me be cool with him. And he's telling you, look, I already know who you are and what you're about. You're not part of my people. You need to back up, or else I'm gonna get somebody to come get you up out of here. And that's aggressive. That's aggressive. How should I gonna be very aggressive with that? Because when he says you're gonna be cast out of into outer darkness, that's national team. That's aggression, bro. That's you getting your shit stomped out, probably. Now you crying and shit back, Lord, like on some Esau shit.
Out of darkness. Just be dark. Dark. Like,
Getting stomped out.
You like in those games where the shit, or you dying and like slowly,
Yeah,
the
it's going darker and darker.
the scopes get smaller. Like, oh fuck, revive me, bro. Revive me.
007.
Yeah.
Get all sick. Wasted. Yeah, I had Luke 7:46, which this goes into what you just said. And why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? And that's gonna be everybody. And Jesus fucking Christ, man. It's like, yo, and then you calling on the name which you believe, but you blaspheme at the same time. We wouldn't ever say that about Yahweh Shai when we call on him in a time of trouble. But that goes to show you, it's just a knee-jerk reaction.
Yo, you had Tucker Carlson say about Amalek. He was like, Christians, talking about how the Lord commanded Saul to get rid of all the Amalekites, and he was like, that's actual genocide. And he was like, in Christians, we reject that totally. We reject that part of the Old Testament. I'm like, how you gonna call yourself a Christian, but you rejecting what the Lord's commandment is? That's them talking about. That's a part of that. How you call me Lord, Lord, and do not the things that I say? The whole purpose of why Saul don't got the kingdom because he didn't do that. Yeah. But here, that's Esau's false rightness, man. Like, oh no, that's wrong. So we reject this. But here it is. You just go bomb everybody else. What you do? Why is there's only 1% of natives living in Argentina? Everybody else is straight Edomite. Why? Because you did a genocide. Why don't you just see Native Americans walking around here? Why is Gaza damn near empty? And the list goes on and on and on. Over there in Australia, you don't see none of the little Tasmanian niggas running around because you got rid of them all. You think Australia? You think of Edomites, but there was a whole nation of people there before. So,
The scripture said that he made the world as a wilderness, going around destroying everything and everyone.
but you want to reject
Right.
Amalek getting destroyed.
He's a vagabond. Even when they came to like establish Rome and all that, the Japhetic people was there before them. So they had to come everywhere they went. It was trying to replace the people that was there. Because he has no heritage, he has no culture. Unseasoned chicken. That's what Esau's whole identity is. Unseasoned chicken. But this is Luke 7:47. Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will shew you to whom he is like. He is like a man which built an house and dig deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock.
Yep. Hey, going into what the Lord, Paul said in Romans, the 12th chapter, about everything is going to be shaken. Yep. And we have gotten a immovable kingdom. You see? So the fact that we base our stability isn't based off of what we could do. It's not based off of the merits and the money and none of the stuff of our own selves, but it's based off of the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So when everything around us is all shaken and confused, we're gonna be good because we built our rock upon Yahweh Shai. And there is nothing that can top or topple that, man. Esau, he trying to make it seem like his military is unshakable, but look. Your own people, you got own analysts and military experts saying you're running out of munition and you don't have enough, military to go ground. Like, if you built your rock on that, it's not good. That's why now you're trying to find an exit strategy, and it ain't looking good. But this is why when we're going back to that scripture, you have to build correctly, man. Even when you come into the truth, you can't come into the truth because you want women. We just explain how the women gonna look like. Lord gonna have to do a marvelous thing in that day. that's another miracle in itself. You can't do it all. I want to get the white man so, but nah. The foundation got to be that you want to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's the foundation. And when you build on that foundation, that's what gives you the longevity.
Right. But he that heareth and doeth not is like a man that without a foundation built an house upon the earth. and against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell.
Yep, and the streams are the various different things that you're gonna go through, and we've seen it. You got certain guys come in, and they were in it for the right reasons. Then certain things happen, and they end up falling out. And it's only going to become worse and worse as time progresses, too, man. It's only going to get harder and harder. You're going to have your parents may come against you, your wife, your children. All these things are the different streams and floods that's going to beat. But that's why Yahweh Shai said, if you can't love any of these things more than him, you're not worthy of them. Even your own life. That's why Paul said that. I count on my life not dear to me. And you got to realize, like, yo, this, we always talk about, this ain't living, man. This ain't life. There's some times when you think about, actually not being here is not that bad. Because what are you doing? You wake up, it's the same thing. You got to go to work. You got to do the same mundane shit. And then you see how these Edomites, Jeff Bezos, and all these other people living. Like, I get super yachts. I'm like, yo, you know you'll never get that. Man, you'll never be able to be on that fucking yacht. Ever. You can't even rent it. The rent like $200,000. But you got Edomites that live like that. But that's why the Lord said, envy not the prosperity of the wicked, man.
Hey, look at Mayweather. They saying that nigga's broke now.
Oh, that's why you gotta go back to fighting.
Yeah, he might have some assets and shit.
Fighting Tyson.
He don't got no liquid money because he's a dumbass. And he spends his money like a fucking idiot. You know, all them big watches, flexing the Rolls Royce, pulling the umbrella out the door. Look at me. Like, bro, doing dumbass deals. But that's Jake. And then Jake has like a glass ceiling. Like, you get to a certain point and the Lord just humble your ass, man. And you just can't get any further than that.
And that's a beautiful thing with that demon, too.
Yeah.
He just came out a couple of I stand with Israel. I'm always with. He doing that. He chucking and jogging for the money. But that's uncertain riches, man. The scripture says, trust not in uncertain riches.
It reads, and the ruin of that house was great.
Yep. So that's what's about to happen to these people in this world, man. This is going to be a great ruin. And it's going to be a beautiful. At that time, the Lord is going to, as it says, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And you're going to see, then shall my chosen be known. When the things that are important, you don't have what they call the essential goods, all of that, when that's not easily available to you, all of this materialistic shit that people strive for, that's going to be out the window. Nobody will be thinking about that shit no more. You're going to be caring about your car and your watches and all that. It told you Ezekiel's the second chapter. Your gold and silver going to be casted out because it's not going to be of use. Nope. But anybody got something? We close it out with that. Good. So, with that, Lord willing, us edifying unto the elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory to. The next time, shalom to the elect. Good.